Oh, sorry. I forgot to record the lesson. Thank you, Albert. By the way, the previous lessons were uploaded to the YouTube class, APTS YouTube class. So those who want to take a review, you can visit APTS YouTube channel. I think we have two, right? So one is APTS Chapel, and then one is the other one is APTS classes, something like that. So please feel free to go to the YouTube channel and then take time to review. Okay, going back to the one again. Okay. Okay, so let's continue to talk about the indicators of he feels stem. So we are dealing with he, okay? And then I didn't want you to remember hirek yod between second and third root letters as the most important indicators together with he. Why? Because it just works for the third persons. So when it comes to second person singular plurals and first person singular plural, then it doesn't work. So, but if you have hirek yod together with the preformative he, then it is still good indicator for he feel. So that's something that you need to remember. Okay, apart from he, and what do you remember? He, preformative he, and then tsere, the two
Yes.
dots. And then that is the indicator of what?
Affix.
Hello verb.
Hollow verb.
Hello verb
Hello
of fixed
affix.
form. Yeah, exactly. But you are going to have only two remaining consonants. So that means the hollow verb will drop the second root letter, but it'll take hirek yod. But that hirek yod is not a part of the root letter, but it's a replacement or the compensation. So that is what you need to remember, okay? So do not simply rely on the hirek yod as if it is a part of the root letter. So you need to be aware of this possibility, okay? So hirek, he, and then tsere, that's good. But that's only for the third person. So the tsere will become something else. What is it? For other PGN.
Patashiwa.
Right. So composite shua.
Composite.
So this the shua goes down like this, and then it takes pata. So composite shua is also a indicator of hollow verb affix, he feel. Okay. So it's good that you still remember this. What about then for imperative and infinitive construct? What do we expect? Preformative he and pata. And pata is so much important. So from today onward, you need to pay attention to this specific vowel point. Why? In Hebrew 1, I didn't want you to give a great attention to vowels. But in Hebrew 2, vowel is becoming somehow more important than before. So whenever it is important, and I'm going to ask you to pay attention to it, okay, like today's. So you need to remember pata has something to do with imperative form. But last time, when you are dealing with imperative form, then there is a great possibility of having infinitive construct too. That's simply because of the similarity between them. So it's not always identical, but most of the time it's identical or similar. So if you see the possibility of imperative form, then it's always good for you to double check to see if that even falls under the category of infinitive construct. But the context and the fact that infinitive construct forms normally come together with a preposition like an unmet will help you to recognize it. Are you following me? So he together with the pata, he together with the pata, so it's ha, will become the indicator of imperative form and infinitive construct. Are you following me? And apart from pata, then what else?
Commits.
Comets. Comets, 해 and comets is also another indicator of imperative form of hollow verb, especially in the he feel stem. Are you following me? So far, these are the most important pre-formatives, 해 together with the vowel pointings. And then I think we also studied about 쇄골 under the 해. If you have 해 and 쇄골, and then if the first root letter is a guttural, then that is also an indicator of what? If it affects form. Simply, the first guttural affects the preceding vowel points. Are you following me? So let's summarize. 해 together with hirek, ጼ레, and composed shu와, pata, and then even 쇄골, they are the indicators of what? He feel a fixed form. Depending on the types of verbs, like a hello verb, or even first noun verb is gonna be the same. What do we expect when we are dealing with the first noun verb? The first noun will be assimilated, and then it will follow the general rule. Okay, it works that way. And then if you have pata or comets under the head, then that indicate what? The possibility of imperative or infinitive construct. Is that clear? Okay, so far that's all. Okay, and the reason why it is becoming harder is I think you have dealt with the third he verb. The third he verb, sometimes when the third he is attached to another component like prefix complement or affix pronoun at the end, normally the he will be missing. And then you are going to have a compensation like yod, hirek yod, or sometimes in tav. Do you remember this? Then it creates some confusion there. That's why you need to understand how it works. Another thing is if you have he together with shua and pata, you are not always supposed to consider it as what is it? The indicators of he feel of fixed form. Why? Because we do have interrogative he. Are you following me? Interrogative he means question mark. So if you have he together with the shua and pata, then that is another possibility. That doesn't need to be what is that he feel of fixed indicator all the time. Are you following me? It can simply make the sentence question, a question, okay? So in that case, how are you going to differentiate interrogative he from the he feel he, shua pata? Then I told you, normally interrogative he can be attached to any types of verb. So you will not be able to see the indicators of he feel. Okay, so anyway, that's it. We will be able to take a look at it if we are dealing with that specific case. Today, we have something here. Let me just let's look at the second verb, a second words in the sentence. Okay, what is your analysis? Can you recognize anything there?
Dabar.
Right, dabar. Then there must be two possibility. Noun dabar or verb dabar. How do you think?
Verb.
It's participle.
Okay, so it's a verb. Why do you think this one is verb?
The duck is in wait.
Yeah, so I just gave you this lesson in Hebrew 1. If you are confused between noun form and verb, then what do you need to see? You need to see if there is a dagesh in the middle. Then if you have dagesh, then that must be PS stem. Okay, so here, dabar, the bat is taking dagesh. So that must be a verb. Okay, the question is then, as Amos said, this one is participle. Okay, so what I'm saying is the he and pata, then looking at this, and then you see that dabar is a verb. Oh, then I know, I studied this one before. Then what is it? You may say, oh, it's imperative or infinitive construct. No, actually, the he and pata is definite article he. Definite article he. It has nothing to do with the he feel, actually. That head. Are you following me? So this he and pata is definite article he, which means the. Then the question is, okay, now I know that this is dabar, then what about the ending? Oh, im ending. And okay, this is a verb. And what kind of form can be attached to im ending?
MPL.
Yes, participle, masculine, plural. So it's already noticed by Amos. So now it's, although we don't understand everything here, but there are some clues that will help us to recognize its form. Okay, forget about the first two components in the beginning, but you know that this dabar must be a verb, and then the ending. And what kind of a verb and what kind of form can be attached to the specific im ending? So you remember, nothing for masculine singular, and feminine singular is a. Okay, kamet and he. Sometimes even te. Okay, and then as a masculine plural, we have im ending, and then feminine plural will take ot ending. Do you remember this? Okay, so now you can see the possibility of participle. Then the question is, okay, the participle form can be attached to a definite article here. Do you remember this? And then this presence of IPP, independent personal pronoun, is also the indicator of participle form. So I told you, normally or generally speaking, a participle form can come together with other aspects, such as another participle or an IPP, independent personal pronoun, or definite article he. So now this is the case. We have IPP in the beginning and then definite article he in the beginning. So now we are not supposed to consider he, the he in the first he, um, as something that is related to he feels them. So now we are dealing with the possibility of definite article he. Are you following me? Then the next question is, so what is the second point? What is that mem for? That is a new lesson today. Okay. To tell you the conclusion, the mem together with shua for today is another indicator of hip feel participle. One more time. Now, we are learning about the indicators of participle form in the hip feel stem. Whatever we have been dealing with this week is about hip feel stem. Am I right? So we started talking about hair and then different types of vowel points under the hair. Today, we have another preformative, which is not hair, and that is ma'am. Say yes, ma'am. This is what I always say in my house. Yes, ma'am. How can I help you? To my wife. All right. So yes, ma'am. Ma'am is another indicator of he stem. So do not rely on the sound of he, because it's a he stem. So if you have ma'am and sure in the beginning of a verb, then that must be he feel participle. Okay, just for now you can say that. But What makes us suffer in Hebrew2 is this. Preformative man will be used for even other stems. That's going to be really hard. But don't be scared too much. We will be there and you can do it. So now, it's quite easy. If you have hair in the beginning, then so far you can say that, oh, it has something to do with the Hebrew stem. But now, if you have a mem, then you can say that, oh, that is an indicator of Hebrew participle. But later on, you will know that that has something to do with hofal and pual. Oh, sorry, I got confused. I think this one is a different one. Let me double check. PL participle. That's why I'm confused, because there is other possibilities. Let me just double check. Sorry, my apology. Yes. If you have your verb chart, please look at page 433. Because man can be a indicators of even Hebrew participle form. Okay, but I need to highlight that pata should be there for Hebrew stem. But for PS stem, it will come with shua and then dagesh in the middle. Sorry, my apologies. Okay, forgot about it. But it's good that I was talking about another possibility. So if you have man, and then that can be the preformative man indicating participle form. I'm supposed to say participle form. Okay. Now it's a safe for us to say if you have man attached to a verb, then that should be participle form. That's for sure. But we are not quite sure about the stem yet. Okay. So depending on what other indicators we have, we are going to determine the right stem. So like the case for today, we have shua under the preformative man and then dagesh in the middle. Then they are the perfect indicators of PL participle. Now, remember this, if you have mem attached to a verb, then what is it about? Mem is about participle. Okay, mem is about participle. And then if you have pata under the preformative mem, then that is Hebrew. So I told you pata has something to do with Hebrew stem. So I told you pata is important. Pata is important indicator of Hebrew stem. So if you have mem, then that's participle. And then if you have shua under it, then there are other possibilities. But for today, you can simply say that's a PL. And then you need to double check to see if we have dagesh in the middle. Then that's for sure that we have the PL stem. Do you have any question? Sorry, my apologies. So mem is the indicator of what specific form? Participle. So now, participle is not a stem, but it's a form. So don't be confused. So sometimes you are so much, confused between the indicators of the stems and the form. Don't be confused. It's totally different, topics. So stem, Hebrew stem will take preformative hair. But now, mem is not about stem, but about form. One more time. Preformative mem is about form, which is participle. Okay? It's good that we have im ending. That's why you could recognize, oh, it must be plural, a masculine plural form of participle. But what if we had, let's say, masculine singular, which has nothing, no augment to the end? Then how are you going to recognize it? It's hard because we need to be dependent on holem above the first root letter. But that's for car stem. But what about for other stems like hifil and then pl participle? Then we cannot expect holem above the first root letter. So now I'm telling you that holem, okay, as the most important indicator for participle, doesn't work for other stems. Are you following me? Are you following me? Okay. So then what specific indicator do we have for other stems? Then you need to have this understanding. And your answer is what? Mem. Okay. Okay. Holem for the car stem, especially participle, it's just like mem in the beginning for participle for other stems like pl and hifil, puar, hofar. Okay, then you are going to have a mem. But as I told you, then what do we need to look? We need to look at the vowel point and then other clue like dagesh forte in the middle. Now we have shua under the mem and then dagesh forte in the middle. They are the indicators of PL, stem, and what? Participle. Are you following me? Okay, don't be confused. So just another addition to our list of memorization. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to deal with it again. So if I ask you, okay, in terms of the form of preformative, mem is indicating what? Then you're going to tell me participle. Participle, that's it. Not stem, but form of participle. Is that clear? Okay. And then there are four possibilities of the stems if you have mem. And what are they? PL, puar. By the way, puar is the passive form of PL. That's why PL, puar tend to go together in terms of the indicator. What about hifil and hofar? Hofar is the passive form of hifil. That's why, those four possibilities are there. I understand. Are you following me? But you don't need to really memorize all those things. When we are dealing with other stems for participle, then we are going to focus on it. But the point is, preformative mem can be used not only for PS stem, but it can be even but also for other stems like puar, hifil, hofar. Is that clear? Okay, so then they're very straightforward. Then let's analyze it. As I said,
Excuse me, Professor.
yes.
How about the ha in the front? Is it emphatic K?
You mean in the beginning, the he?
Yes.
No, I told you this is definite article he.
Oh.
Okay. And then normally emphatic he is coming at the end, not in the beginning of a word. And then that is normally coming together with imperative form, not for others. Okay, thank you for the question. Let me, okay, this one is definite article he.
Sir, usually in English, definite article the in front of noun, but in Hebrew, every word can put in front of every word.
Word? You mean verb?
This is verb.
Okay, then how come it comes together with the definite article he?
Yeah,
Is this what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
In Hebrew 1, we talk about this already. So, all right, it's not usual for a Hebrew verb to come together with definite article he. As you said, definite article he is normally attached to a noun, like in English. But as I told you, the function of participle is to make a verb noun. That's why the ending for masculine plural and feminine singular, feminine plurals are, following the general patterns of noun endings, right? Im is Elohim. Im is noun ending, plural form. Am I right? So here, so participle forms are also following the noun ending, but it's not noun, but it functions as a verb. No. As a verb, it functions like a noun, but it's a verb. Participle is a verb, but it functions like a noun. That's why it can be attached to a definite article here. So if there is one form of a verb that can be attached to definite article here, then that must be participle form.
So, can I get it? If I can see he with the verb, this is the participle form?
Yes, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another clue. So I told you, if you have a participle, then generally speaking, you may have one IPP or another participle or definite article here. So those things are important indicators of participle. Okay, I told you before, right? So thank you for the question that reminds us of what we studied before. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
then
Thank
let's
you,
move
sir.
on. Okay, so then we know that this is dabar. And what about stem? Because of Pierre, you will say this one is, what is it? What's stem?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. But looking at this preformative man, so far we have four possibilities. Must be Pierre, Puer, Hifil, Hofer. Are you following me? Okay, but this Shua and then dagesh in the middle indicates Pierre stem. Okay, let's move on. And as I said, mem is always, I think more than 95% indicates the possibility of what form? Form?
Participle.
Yeah, participle.
Participle.
Yeah, don't be confused. Just go straight to the point. Okay, mem is about participle. So participle. And then what else? PGN. It has no person, but only gender, number. So im ending indicates masculine, plural.
Here.
Right. And what about special future? And you need to indicate this. Definite article, he. Okay. And then meaning.
Do you not include the preformative mem as a special feature?
So were you required to put preformative he dealing with he feel?
No.
When you were studying together with Elabaya?
No, I don't think so.
No. Preformative he and mem, those things are not a special feature, but just indicator.
Okay.
Because grammatically, it has nothing. I mean, just except identifying it as he feel or PL. Okay, so you are not supposed to put preformative. Okay, preformative he or mem is not supposed to be included as a special feature. Thank you, Pierce. It could be confused there. Okay, so let's move on. Meaning, you need to put the meaning of definite article he. So I'm gonna put the. And then the general meaning of participle is verb plus ing. So what do we mean by dabar? It's a speak. To speak. So it must be speaking. Am I right?
Yes.
But
one who is speaking?
Yes. If it carries definite article he, then it normally refers to a person doing this specific action of the verb. So if we had a singular form, then the translation must be the one speaking. But this one is plural, so we are going to put the ones. Just make it plural, the ones.
Speaking. Oh.
Speaking. Okay, it indicates people speaking, or you can say those who are speaking. But in order for you to reflect on the meaning of definite article here, then I prefer to use the ones speaking. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. So, what is your translation from the beginning? Ham means what? Muscular, plural, IPP, right? Third person masculine, plural. So must be they. They. So they, the ones speaking. How are we going to interpret it? They are or were or will be the ones speaking. Is it clear? Okay. L, 2, we know that Pharaoh. Who is the Pharaoh? King of Egypt. So you need to put the in for the translation. Okay. Pharaoh, to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And what about this? Another thing that we need to learn today as a new lesson. How do you think about this? What is your analysis without looking at the explanation below? Just what is the possibility? You know, this is new, but how are you going to analyze it? Anyone else? Anything? This is a verb. And
What?
What?
Infinitive construct?
Yes.
Earlier proposition.
Yes. Right. Because of the preposition lamet. Then my question, okay, Sharon, you asked me the question, how come, you know, definite article here can be attached to a verb? Then you say, oh, it must be participle. Now, my question is, what kind of a verb can be attached to a preposition? Then that's infinitive construct. So it is helping. So now, looking at the presence of lamet, then you think about, oh, the possibility of infinitive construct. Okay, understanding these possibilities. So far, it's possibility. And what can you see? Anything that you can see there that you can recognize? Well, actually, this one is taking preformative here with another vowel point. Okay, so I can say, oh, maybe it's a Hebrew stem. And, oh, praise the Lord, I have hit at yod. It's confirmation. Oh, it's most likely, maybe, right? So this is the Hebrew stem. And then what about this? It seems like this one must be a vowel point. Then we don't have the first root letter. This one is yatza. Okay, we are going to deal with this one, looking at the individual, I mean, the each slide after this. But just I'm trying to give you the core lesson right now. If you remember this, then that's the summary. And then that's the most important part. So, but anyway, to tell you the truth here, the yod, long time ago, used to be vav. One more time. Long time ago, there was no distinction between the yod and the vav. In fact, the yod was replaced by vav long time ago. So if you have the yod in the beginning and it's missing, and you have vav, then you think about the first yod verb. Okay, so that's it. So now this holem is indicating the first yod verb. So now, apart from pata, as a important vowel point, I told you pata is important as the indicator of Hebrew stem. Then I'm going to tell you, if you have holem, plene, actually, okay, coming in the beginning, then you need to also think about this first yod verb yodbal possibility. Are you following me? Especially when you cannot see the yod. So we are going to talk about it later. So this one actually indicates Hebrew stem, yaza, Hebrew stem, and infinitive construct. All right? So then everything is quite straightforward. Infinitive construct has no P, G, N. One more time. Infinitive construct has no P, G, N. Do not put anything. I want to always give you a mark. But if you put something that I need to deduct the mark, okay? And then what about the special feature? Lamed, preposition. And what about the meaning? You just put the meaning after to. How are you going to do it? To. And what is the meaning of yaza in the Hebrew stem? Yaza means go forth. So it is causing somebody to go forth. So I think the meaning is bring forth, go. Okay, so that's it. To bring forth, causing someone to do the action of the verb. So it is a tendency. If you have a Hebrew stem, then normally you will have direct object marker, which is at. So the action is falling to what is following at. So now, what is it? The Hebrew nuance should be causing someone to go forth. Then causing what? Bene, the sons of Israel. So causing this person after act. Telling you this. If you have a Hebrew stem, then look around to see the presence of at. Normally, the action is causing. Okay, the person who is following at is being caused to do the specific action. So causing the sons of Israel go forth. Mitzrayim mean from Egypt. Is that clear? So now we've learned two things as a new lessons. What do you need to remember? Preformative mem indicates participle form. In terms of the stance, we have four possibilities: PL, PUR, HIFIL, HOFAR. PUR will take dagesh porte in the middle as well, because it is the passive form of PL. So PL, PUR goes, together. They go together in terms of the dagesh porte. But PUR will take another vowel point under the mem. But anyway, you don't need to really memorize this one, but I'm trying to give you the general understanding of how it works, when in terms of the stem, especially for participle form. So now, mem indicates stem or form? Form. Okay? Don't be confused. Participle. But preformative he indicates what? The stem, Hebrew. Okay? It's different one. Stem is different from form, so don't be confused, all right? But mem, preformative mem, still helps us to see what kind of stems we have, apart from form of participle. And then I told you, four possibilities: PL, PUR, HIFIL, HOFAR. And then depending on what specific vowel points we have under the preformative mem, you will determine which stem you have. Shua, and then together with the dagesh porte indicates what? PL, participle form. That's it. That's the number one lesson today. Number two, if you have preformative he together with holem plane, which makes ho sound, then you need to think about what? The preformative he indicates the he feel.
First you.
Okay, he feel stem. Preformative he. I'm talking about preformative he alone. Then that indicates he feel stem. And then the Holland planet, which is following he, indicates first yod verb infinitive construct. Now let me ask you this question. If we are dealing with a first yod verb in the car stem, especially for infinitive construct, is there anything that you can tell me?
Drops the yod and ends in tav.
Thank you. I was expecting that answer. Good job. Right. Yod will be missing, right? Because it is attached to the preposition lamed. So the first yod will be missing. And then we will have another compensation at the end. What is it? Tav. So that works just for the car stem, but not for the hifil stem. Hifil will come with preformative he, and then the first yod will become holem plene. Is that clear? Okay? All right. So then if you have ho in the beginning and then attach it to a preposition, then praise the Lord. You know everything. The stem and the form. Because the preformative he indicates what? He feels stem. And then lame preposition indicates infinitive construct. So now, that is it. So then our final translation is what? They are the ones speaking to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, to do what? To causing the sons of Israel go forth. Okay? Amos said, Professor, Hebrew is more difficult than Greek. I don't want to say yes to that because what you think is going to reign in your mind. So let's just say easier, just a piece of cake. One thing good about Hebrew is this: you will be allowed to use your verb chart. And I need to let you know that there are more things to memorize in Hebrew, more vocabulary and more grammatical aspect. It depends on your personality too. But anyway, don't backslide. I know that you have love for this Hebrew language because of this difficulty. Don't say, oh, you can say Greek is easier, but do not say you love Greek more than what you do for Hebrew. Then that's going to be backsliding. Okay, Amos, can you say amen? Okay, let's move on. So then to cause the sons of Israel go forth from Egypt. That's it. Okay, so then overview. Now, after dealing with this main sentence, then we are going to the main lecture. So I hope this is my typical way of dealing with the new lesson. After teaching you the core lessons, then I want you to take a look at each slide so that you will be reminded of what you've studied today. Overview: PL participle, man preformative in front of the root, and dagesh forte in the middle letter. They are the indicators of PL participle. Hifil affixed first yod chart, and we are going to deal with it later. But anyway, if you have preformative he and then holem plene, then that is for hifil infinitive construct for the first yod verb. Okay. So in first yod verb, originally the yod was vav and hifil first yod. Hifil infinitive first yod verb chart. So let's move on to the slides. Please feel free to raise your hand if you have any question, okay? Let me move on. So now we have the chart for PL participle, and then you have another chart for car participle. As I said, what do you normally expect for as the indicators of car participle? Then you need to let me know 홀렘, 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 홀렘. Okay, but not for PL. PL will not take 홀렘, but preformative mem together with shua, 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 shua. And praise the Lord, you still have dagesh porte. But the ending, nothing, a, im, ot, they are identical. Nothing new anymore. Okay? Do you have any question? So one more time. Preformative ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming. Yes, ma'am. I'm cleaning. Yes, ma'am. I'm studying. So ma'am has something to do with ing form. Okay? So if your ma'am is calling you, then what are you going to do? You need to do it right now. It's a continuous action, ongoing action. So it's a participle. Okay? Yes, ma'am. I'm coming. So let's move on. Stephen, would you read the PowerPoint, please?
Okay. PL participle diagnostics. A mem, preformative characterize the participles of PL, pure, Hiphil, and Hoffa stems. This performative mem appears with Shiwa.
Okay.
Attached under the first consonant of the verb root. That gets forte in the second consonant of the verbal root.
Okay. It just talks about another thing, pata, under the first consonant. Okay, I didn't really want you to pay attention to this because for now it's just okay. All right. If you need to really pay attention to this, then another thing to memorize. So trust me, when we need to deal with it, this first vowel points, then I'm going to let you know, because this information will be helpful for you to recognize a difference between two aspects that looked the same. So in that case, you need to go to the secondary clue. So pata, I can say it's a secondary clue for other purpose. So now just do not pay too much attention to it. It's okay. But dagesh forte in the second consonant is what you need to remember. Let's go to next slide. So we are done with this. About PL participle, masculine plural, definite article, he. And one more time, you are not supposed to put preformative, he or ma'am, okay? Hiphil affix, and this is something that is new. It includes another important new lesson, and which is quite challenging. But let me just read it to you. In every PGN, ho, he, and holemplene appears. There is no hirek under the preformative because of the holem plene. Now, when we are talking about ho, then we were talking about it in the possibility of infinitive first yod verb hifil stem. But now we are talking about hifil affix form, which is another lesson today of the first yod verb. Okay, if we are dealing with hifil affix, the strong verb, then what do you expect? He, hirek. If we are dealing with hifil hollow verb affix, then what do we expect? He, zere. Are you following me? It's all about Hebrew affix. And then composite schwa also appears. And then second, for the first guttural verb as an indicator of Hebrew affix form. Okay? Are you following me? And you need to include this one. If you have he and then holem, the whole indicates what? Hebrew affix form for the first yod verb. Okay. The second one is the yod in the first root position has been replaced with holem. We understand this. Or third person forms have hirek plane. It's not really new. I told you, hirek yod for the Hebrew stem is not the absolute indicators for every PGN. I told you that only works. Hirek yod between the second and third root letters just works for the third person. All first and second person forms have pata in the second root letter. Okay, let's look at the chart. Look at this. And you will understand why we need to deal with this right now. When we are talking about infinitive, Hebrew, first yod verb, why do we need to talk about Hebrew affix, first yod verb? Why? You will know. Okay, let's look at this. As I told you, if we have Hebrew affix form, the most expected preformative indicator is the he in the beginning. And then, as I said, hirek yod is appearing for only third person. So I told you it cannot be the absolute indicator for the Hebrew stem because sometimes you may not be able to see it, like for the first and then second persons. But anyway, he still works. But now look at this chart for the first yod verbs. Then you need to remember ho is the indicator of Hebrew first yod verb. Now, let me tell you this. If you have ho in the beginning, then it has definitely something to do with the Hebrew stem because of he. And then you need to think about those possibilities. Okay, if you have your verb chart, please go to the page where you can see the first yod verb. Page 436. I want you to look at Hebrew stem, trying to see the indicators of affix, prefix, imperative, participle, infinitive construct. Okay? By the way, I told you, I sent you the soft copy of your verb chart. Do you want me to resend it to you? Soft copy? Does everybody have it? Is there anyone who doesn't have it? May I see your hand? So it's important for us to take a look at our verb chart. Please print out like mine and then just put it beside your textbook and we will just look at it from time to time, okay? So look at it. I'm looking at page 436 and let's start from Hebrew affix form. Then what do we expect? Ho in the beginning. And as you can see that hirek yod appears only for the third persons. So, and apart from affix form, where can you see the preformative ho? Where? What form? Interestingly, you can see that prefix form will come together with a prefix pronoun in the beginning. Yod tap tap tap, aleph yod tap 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 nun. But the yod is replaced by holem. Can you see that? Are you following me? On page 436, look at Hebrew. Okay? And we goes down prefix form. And what do you see? Yod, holem, shin, hirek yod, bet. So now it's interesting. The yod is replaced by holem. Now you can see the fact that, oh, the yod was the vav long time ago. So the idea still works, except the fact that we don't have preformative hair. Okay, but anyway, let's go down. Imperative, we have ho. So imperative form even can take ho, preformative. And what about participle? Praise the Lord. We have mem again. I told you, mem has something to do with what? Participle. But interestingly, the vowel point is not shua. What is it? Holem plene. So now you can see that, oh, holem plene has something to do with the first yod verb. Okay, but it's still good that we have mem. What about infinitive construct? We have ho. So now, how many forms can take ho, preformative, in the Hebrew stem for the first yod verb? Affix, imperative, infinitive construct. Are you following me? Then what is the difference between imperative and infinitive construct? Normally, infinitive construct will take hirek yod between the second and the third. If you compare it to second person masculine imperative form, generally speaking, okay? But now we are coming to the most challenging part today. Look at infinitive construct form. What do you have? Ho, sheep. Ho, sheep. Can you see it somewhere in a fixed chart? In the fixed chart, ho, sheep.
3 MSG.
3 MSG of fixed form. Now they are identical. Oh man. Okay. There was one case where a specific form is used for two forms. Do you remember hello Bob? 3 MSG of fixed form, like bo, ba. Okay, bet, comet, aleph is a 3 MSG of fixed form, but at the same time it is identical to MSG participle form. So it's not new to us, right? There was a case like this. Now another one that you need to remember, hoshif is for first yod verb hifil, but it is identical to infinitive construct. So in the hifil stem, especially for the first yod verb, it's just very narrow area, narrow condition. What is it? Hifil stem, first yod verb, you need to pay attention to 3 MSG of fixed and infinitive construct. Why? Because they are identical. That's it. To summarize today's lesson, we have dealt with 3 important things. Okay, number 1, what did you learn? Mem is related to participle. Are you following me? And the preformative mem has 4 possibilities of the stems. What are they? PL, PY, HIFIL, HOFA. Depending on what vowel points under the mem we have, and then what other indicators we have, you are going to determine which stem we have. Okay, shua under the preformative mem, and the dagesh in the middle indicates what? PL. Is that clear? That's number 1. Number 2, what was it? Preformative he together with holem, which makes ho sound, has something to do with what? First of all, the hifil stem and the first yod verb. That's it. Is that clear? Okay. What kind of forms can be used together with ho. For the first yod verb, what are they? A fixed form, and then imperative form and infinitive construct. Is that clear? And most importantly, ho, sheep, infinitive construct is identical to 3MSG, a fixed form. But let me tell you this, although they are identical, it's most likely you will not be really confused. Why? Because the infinitive construct is normally coming with a preposition. Am I right? Okay. And then the context will help you. So in Hebrew, the context is quite important since there are a lot of flexibilities. So that's it. If you really pay attention to each slides, and it seems like there are a lot of information, but only 3 things today that you need to remember. Samson, come on. Samson. This guy must be tired. He must have worked hard. Samson, are you listening to me? Come on. Okay, so much important, okay? You must be tired. Wake up. All right, let's move on. Do you have any questions so far? Is that clear? Okay, so the idea is just the same. It's apart from ho. Actually, hirag yod still works for the third person. And then they are taking the specific ata to ti, utam to nu. So nothing new. Let me move on. Okay, so the first root yod is replaced with the plain holem. No hirek under the preformative he. We're talking about infinitive construct form of first yod verb, and this form looks the same as if the first yod affixed form 3MSG. How to distinguish between the two? The infinitive usually has an attached, preposition, not proposition, preposition, and the context will help you. Let me move on. So yacha, he feel infinitive construct, no PGN. Special feature, lame preposition, to bring force. Translation. They are the ones who were speaking to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, to bring forth the sons of Israel from Egypt. KJV, these are they which spake to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring out the children of Israel from Egypt. I think it's almost the same. There is no really big difference. Let me do this. Come on. What can you see here? Analyze all the following just quickly. Okay, lamed preposition, and then we have he, and then ot ending. Can you see something? We have never dealt with this specific case, but the clue and the indicators are something that really help us right now to recognize that. What is it? Can you see? The stem. Preformative he has something to do with the specific stem of hifil. And what kind of a verb can be attached to a preposition? Preposition lamed.
Infinitive construct.
Infinitive construct. And praise the Lord, we have ot ending. Why? Because this is the third he. So the third he, infinitive construct, takes ot ending instead of he. But only the new thing is the preformative he. So everything is there. Are you following me? Let's move on. Amar, 3, MSG, affix. Kal. What can you see here? Lamed preposition and another preformative together with kamet. Now, I told you, he and then pata or kamets, they are the indicators of what? Imperative and infinitive construct. So now we have infinitive construct for hollow verb. He feels stamps. Is that clear? One more. How do you think? What is this?
I thought that was pata. Was
What is it?
imperative and infinitive construct.
Yes, but hollow, in case of a hollow verb, then it will
It
take
turns to
comet.
comments. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. This is verb conjunction. And then what is it? What kind of thing can take U ending? This is Kyle and 3CPL, a fixed form. Is that clear? What about this? Oh, sure. Oh, it's a comet. Must be comets. If this is a fixed form, then what is it? Sure.
Imperative.
What is it for?
Imperative.
Imperative. Praise the Lord. Yes. Let's move on. Oh, I know. Ma'am is indicating what? Participle. Just put participle first and figure out what form we have out of 4. We have sure and 다기시 포르테. Then it indicates what? PL stem. That's it. Teacher Elabaya, what is our assignment?
It's page 161, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, 13, and 14. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, 13, and 14. There is a bit of a problem with the Moodle site on our website. So you may have to Google our apts.edu because the drop-down menu is not working very well on the website. So to go to Moodle, you have to I think they're working on it right now, but you have to go to Google apts.edu, then you go to Moodle.
Okay. Yeah, do
there
you
seems
have
to
any
be
questions?
a problem. Yeah.
Hebrew scholars, come on, don't be afraid. We will be able to finish strong, and I'm going to help you, and Elabaya will help you to pass the course. But each day, just focus on the new lessons, and you really need to have your summary notes. Okay, please make sure you have to summarize. My tip is do not try to put a lot of information there, because at the end, you are going to have a lot of things already. And if you have many explanations for one, then it's not summary. It's not helping. So be concise in making your summary notes. Just to put very important indicator. That's it. Okay, today, like the way mem indicates what? Participle. And then 4 possibility of stance. That's it. Whole indicates what? He feel. And then could it be a fixed, imperative, infinitive construct. That's it. Is that clear? Okay, so then I'm gonna see you tomorrow again. God bless you. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
Bye.
저기 질문 좀 해도 돼요?
네네.
예. 히피스템은 특징이 뭐예요?